Yeah, for sure.
What's up? It's time. It's finally time. It's here. I can finally get to have you on, man.
What's up, man? How's it
I'm
going?
excited, dude. I always feel like I start this, but like you're someone I think we've been trying to work something out. It feels like for like 3 or 4 months.
Yeah, bro. It's been like, yeah, this weekend's great, and then it becomes like, oh man, this came up, and
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that
and
just kept going back and forth.
we've
You're
gone
like,
back
oh,
and forth, right?
I'm
So it's not
busy,
like
you're
yeah.
busy. We're just like, all right, let's make it happen.
And then what's funny is it almost happened again because Tuesday, like last minute, we just both were like, you know what? Let's just make sure this is good. Like we were gonna,
Yeah,
we didn't
exactly.
have a set time on Tuesday, and we were gonna come together and be like, let's do it at 6. And I was like, man, I'm just getting home from work. Let's just redo it. Let's just push it back a little bit more. If we've pushed it back this much, we can wait. But I'm glad it's worked out. I'm glad to finally have you on and here to discuss your work, your music, your side hustles, all that stuff that you do. It's exciting. It's encouraging, I think. So but let's start with that, man. So you've when did you get into music? How about that? When did you get into the EDM scene? When did you start going, you know what, I want to start producing on some music and get into this on the
So I got into the scene, like going to shows, or you're talking about like when I started making music and when I started music?
let's do both. I'm intrigued in both.
Okay, so I started going to shows when I moved to Florida, like a year later. So in 2014. So I was going to shows, 2014 to like almost recently, like right before COVID. I mean, I guess I slowed down a bit, but I was going to a lot of shows, like, and I used to listen to dance music since like middle school. I've been listening to dance music. Like Netsky is one of the people that like put me onto it, and like I used to listen to Netsky all the time. And like when I finally decided, let's go to a show,
Hmm.
I, was, I got hooked, as everyone does, and
Yeah,
then
right.
that eventually got me into wanting to, I've always wanted to make music since I was younger. Like I've always tried. I just didn't have the discipline, I guess you could say. Like I used to play a couple of instruments. I played the piano. I played the flute and the trombone in school, like, like classes that I had, and I was learning through that. And my friends and I, when we were younger in high school, we tried to start like a band. It was pretty funny, to be
God,
honest.
you just brought back a memory of when like I was in middle school and I had like 3 or 4 friends and we thought about that too. Oh, we'll make a band, and like we all played some type of instrument, and it was like no, we weren't even close. I don't think we were even remotely close. Like we were just like
Nah.
not only that, like we just had no idea how to make music at the time. Just we just weren't inclined that way either. So it was like we would like listen to music and like hang out, and then like someone would like write down some words and then like sing it to some beat, but it was obviously like a parody of just some song we've already had the beat with. Like it was just we never played for anybody, nothing, but we had this grand idea that we could have a band, but it just never it never came into anything.
Dude, same, man. We like my friends Marvin and Miguel. I don't know if Miguel still does music, but I know Marvin definitely does. He has like a band out in New York or something like that. He's like one of my old school, like high school friends. Good person. But yeah, so we tried to have a band, and like that's just like a little bit of the music. And like I said, I used to listen to dance music a lot growing up, like in middle school all the way until like, like because I used to play a lot of video games, and that was what was in montages. Because when I was younger, I played like Call of Duty and had like YouTube. I was doing YouTube. I was doing pretty well actually. I got like YouTube partner before they had like a whole program, and it was like it took months to get accepted to get this partnership, right? And this is when YouTube was like, you're not making any money on YouTube. Like it's YouTube's like infant ages, right? But so all that I'm like babbling here, but anyway, so
No, no,
it's
no. Go for it. I'm now
yeah, dude.
I'm now also intrigued about this Call of Duty and stuff that you were playing. Which game was the best?
I used to play Call of Duty 4, and Modern Warfare 2. Like Modern Warfare 2 is what I was in heavy. Like I loved that game.
I think everyone was
Played
in
World,
heavy.
yeah,
I
World
think
at
we all
War.
were.
Yeah, dude, Modern Warfare 2 was it. That was the game. I don't think a Call of Duty is like that. Have gotten that excited for Call of Duty since that game. I mean, Warzone's fun. Like I play a lot of Warzone, but it's just like it's only fun when you're playing with people. Like Modern Warfare 2 or just playing that shit was just fun because it was so different.
And not only that, you're playing with like, I mean, back then it wasn't like we were that much older and we had like things to do. Like I remember just
Yeah.
playing with my boys till like 3 a.m. like and just all going back and forth, like just yelling at each other, just and also just like harping on each other. Like that was the best part too, is like just guys being guys, I guess. That's what made it. I don't know if that's what made it so much better. I think that's why video guys like video games in general. So it's like
Yeah,
another
definitely.
like type of sport or competitive. It just brings that out in us, where we're just like, oh, you bitch, like we're just like going back and forth. And I don't know, but yeah, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. I feel like everyone was in heavy, man. Like even I know I was. I definitely,
Yeah.
and I
So
was
you know the 10
probably.
prestige lobbies in that? Do you ever got into one of those?
Oh, not me. No, no, I
Where
would not.
you would join a lobby and it would just like get you to 10 prestige, unlock all your challenges and everything would be unlocked. So
Never
I
got.
used to I used to do those lobbies. Like you have to get like this X like a J tagged Xbox, which is basically like an Xbox with like something soldered onto the motherboard to unlock some features or whatever. I don't know what it was, but anyway,
Jailbroken
yeah,
feature.
basically jailbroken, yeah. And I would do these lobbies for like Microsoft points, and I had like the max amount of Microsoft points you could have on an account because all these kids were just sending me Microsoft points to get 10 prestige, dude. But anyway, back to the music.
Yeah, let's back to
So
music.
one second.
I'll join in on that sip for sure.
So um, so where was okay? So next guy, huge inspiration of mine. Um, I also listen, like, when Skrillex first started making music, like old school Excision and all that stuff. I was listening to all that, Flux Pavilion, Zed's Dead, etc. A lot of drum and bass too, like Matrix and Futurebound. A lot of other people. I can't remember the names. It's something Static. I forget his name, but I can like send you these later. And these are like old school drum and bass, like liquid drum and bass.
Mm-hmm.
That was my shit. One second.
You got yourself muted still. I couldn't hear you.
Oh, my bad. Yep. All right, we're good. So yeah, so old school drum and bass. That's what really got me into EDM is like liquid drum and bass. Um, I could never make liquid drum and bass because I just didn't have the brain power. I guess I don't know. But like when you're younger, you're disciplined of learning something. You're like it's like like a gerbil. You're just like, all right, this is cool. I'm gonna try this, and then you're gonna be like, all right, well, I'm no longer interested in this. Moving on to the next thing. But so music was one of those things for me when I was younger as well. I was, very intrigued in it. Back then I had FL Studio, we like let's be honest, we all when we're younger, we're not gonna buy the program. We're gonna download a cracked version or whatever. So we had the cracked version of FL. I mean, I'll admit to that, whatever. I have paid Ableton now. But anyway, so I open FL trying to figure it out and never figured it out until, I got to the scene. I went to shows. I, started DJing and all that stuff. And like I said, I've always had interest in making music, and I always knew that I could. I just needed to learn it. And then I was just like, I'm gonna do this. Why not? I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna, try to make some music. And I got hooked, bro. It's like a drug when you first start because you're like, I don't understand anything. It's literally you're just like, I don't know how to use anything in this program. So you're just watching videos. You're working on music as much as you possibly can, and nothing sounds good. Like this is to all producers that first start out, man. Like
Right.
if you want to produce music, you're gonna have to learn to hate your music and deal with it for a little bit, because like everything I made when I first started, I've deleted it. It's like it's gone. Like you'll never hear it. Anyway, but yeah, so it's just like like I just kept going at it, and honestly, it's with everybody. I feel like it's luck has a big thing to play with, getting to where you are in the music industry. Obviously, there's a lot of hard work. Like I promoted, and like that's how I made the connections. Like becoming a promoter.
Mhm.
You know, I promoted for a company called HTG. Well, originally I promoted for a company called Mastermind, and then I went to Alliance and then HTG, and then I became the manager at HTG, and then a couple years later, I got the job with Insomniac to do EDC Orlando's team, and that's kind of how I, built my that portion of my connections in the scene, and then like playing, like making music and just trying to build the brand.
Yeah. So is that like a average way that people go in, or is that something that is? I mean, there's obviously so many different ways I think to go in and start. But is that just kind of how you chose to do it? Was like, all right, I'm going to start working for some of these companies and other people in the scene, and I'll go from there as I'm learning music. Like, what was your approach when doing that?
You want me to be completely honest with you?
Absolutely. Yeah. Bring it
I
on.
I was gonna say, like, do you want like the law, like the I had no idea what I was doing at all. When I first got into it, I got into it to go like, I'm gonna go to a show. I had gotten out of a relationship where it was just like you know, child shit anyway. So, um, and bro, like everyone I feel like
Feel
goes through
free,
that.
man. I mean, yeah, yeah, it happens. It's part of it. It's part
Yeah.
of it.
Anyway, so went to a show, got hooked to it, and to be completely honest with you, I started promoting because I couldn't afford to pay for tickets because we're all broke college students at that time.
Genius. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you don't pay for the shows, you just promote them and you get to go. You meet new people, like meet some really awesome people. Like, I mean, I don't know. I'm not growing up. I wasn't very social, so like as I got older, I was trying to be more social with people.
Mhm.
If that makes sense. I know it doesn't make any sense. You're like, you're a DJ. How are you not social?
No, no, no. I mean, there's people that are famous that aren't really social. Like it's understandable. There's just like some of us aren't social, some of us are. Like it's understandable, and I get that. Like it's also hard to come out of that show when you feel like you're not social, and then you're like, all right, I want to be more social. Like that's also daunting, a daunting task to do. But like you're doing it in a smart way where you're like, well, if I'm trying to be more social, let me just work at the club. Like I'm gonna have to be
Exactly.
social at some point with that.
Definitely. So, yeah, I don't think that's a way that everyone gets in, but it's definitely a way to get in. I think it's a difficult way to get in because it's a lot of work, but you make a lot of connections in that process. And it's always another way in because, like, we all know that the music industry works in the way of like once you have to get in to get anywhere, unless you're just a super, super talented, like from birth kind of musician that's, breaking the
Right.
boundaries of music.
Which isn't
Like
me.
there's a lot of people out there that are not like that, but they don't want to do there's a lot of people that don't like, I'm not saying that there's not people that don't do it, but there's a lot of people I know that just just put in the work, like it you'll do it for a little bit and you get your connections and then you move on to something else. Like you'll move on up. And I feel like that's something that a lot of people don't take advantage of. And the people that do, look at them now. They're freaking playing festivals. They're, touring. They're doing this, they're doing that because they did something that they didn't want to do for a little bit to network. Cause that's what it's all about. It's all about networking. To
It
be a
is
complete,
in
yeah,
anything. It's all about
yeah,
networking, not just in the music industry, but yeah, with everything it is. I mean, that's how you get jobs. That's how you get jobs. It's basically coming down to it. But and it's an important skill to have that it's hard to get. And you also brought up the fact of just like people working hard and like putting up with like say let's say putting up with shit for a little bit. Like that's also very hard, and not everyone wants to do that. Like to it's it definitely takes something to have that view and that like vision in the future for you to go, all right, I'm going to eat shit for a year doing these clubs and doing and just making these connections. And then after that, it's going to start paying off because that's kind of how it works with anything. But not everyone wants to do that. Not everyone wants to go and eat shit. So
definitely. Yeah. I mean, dude, like I feel like, as I said, you can just work on your music, but like I know so many people that make amazing music that that's all they're doing is they're making their amazing music. But like if you're trying to tour, you're trying to do this and trying to do that, like you need to put yourself out there because if you don't put yourself out there, it doesn't matter how good your music is unless you have someone doing it for you, like I feel like it's difficult and I was one of those people like dude like growing up did you know what you wanted to be? Like I wanted to develop video games. That's what
dude,
I wanted to do
I had
until
no
I
idea. I was like, I wanted to play hockey for the longest time. And then
yeah.
when that went away, there was not like another thing that really stuck out to me. Like there hasn't, I mean, truthfully, there hasn't been anything until probably midway through college that I realized like I want to do like something on my own and like just be like me and do my own shit and not have to like answer to a boss. Like that's kind of the idea with what I'm doing now. But like even now I'm still building the blocks of that. So it's like, yeah, I'm with you there. Like it took me a while to realize like, what do I want to do? And it's not easy answering that question.
Definitely. I still don't know that. I still don't know the answer to that question.
I mean,
Like
yeah,
I know the answer, but like you can know the answer to that question, but there's always going to be other things that come in that, like, you know, as you're doing it, that either, you know, it's just you either can't do it because of X, Y, and Z, or, you know, like responsibility kicks in because you're, you know, we're adults, so we have shit to
um,
that we have to do. So there's all that stuff. So you might know what you want to do, but at the end of the day, no one knows how to get in there. And the people that know how they're getting there, they're going, you know? So I feel like that's
mhm.
like the first step and with anything. Because that for me, that was for with music, that was it. Like, you know, I was like, okay, I need to really work on music. And I work on music all the time. Like I didn't a lot after all the stuff we talked about before happen for a little bit because I had to get a full-time job. You know, COVID-19 really screwed up the entire entertainment industry, like
Oh yeah, no doubt.
overnight, basically. So we all had to, you know, we had to adapt. So I mean, I guess people with the mentality that they don't know what they want to do is not a bad mentality, but it's like if you don't know what you want to do and you don't want to put in any sort of effort to figuring that out, then I don't know, man. Good luck,
Yeah,
because you know, not to sound negative or anything, but
it's hard. I mean, I think to sum it up, it's like you might know what you want to do, but you might not know how to get there, and that's
yeah,
okay. You know, but
exactly.
you at least want to have like the idea of where you want to go, and then you can try that other stuff. And okay, this didn't work. Okay, I'm gonna try something different.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, this person's doing it that way. Let me try their way. Oh, it didn't work for me. Now I'll come up with my own that maybe integrates part of theirs. Because obviously, it's you can't copy someone else either because like everyone's got their own unique path, their own unique way.
Yep.
But it's super important for you to just keep trying and doing things. And it's interesting though when you do that and you just kind of put your head in the ground, start working hard on what you want to do, and the whatever you want to call it, the universe, God, whatever, kind of starts bringing things along your path that are going to help you. At least that's what I've noticed. Like some people, you know, that you might meet along the way, or an opportunity comes out of nowhere. And that doesn't necessarily mean they're going to be big enough where you just explode, but like they're significant to like help you propel you and get you going and nudge you in the right direction. At least that's my view of it and some of the things I've noticed as I've been working. So I don't know. What are your thoughts with that?
I completely agree, 100%. So why I agree is because, bro, like a lot of the people that I met when I first got into the scene are people that helped me get to where I am today, you know? Cuz everyone can say like, "Oh, I did this," but it's like we all got there because of the people that helped us get there. No one can get to somewhere all by themselves. Like every like especially in this scene, bro. Like if someone's not helping you, like it doesn't even matter. Like it's not like, oh, they're doing everything for you. It's like this one person could know this person that introduces you to that person, and you
Mm-hmm.
made a connection. Oh, like yo, let's work on some music together. Yo, let's collab.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and I've done a
Support.
lot of collabs with people that we don't actually even end up releasing the song, but it's just the fact that we did that collab together, and you know we worked on, we saw each other's style, we work on another song, and in that one we release. But it's like just putting yourself out there. That's all
And
it
then
is.
you also by meeting these new people and working with them, it like you said, it creates opportunity for someone else to
Mm-hmm.
notice your work. I mean, I can't tell you where I mean, I can tell you where I went on a podcast with a girl with one of the girls I now host another podcast with, and by going on hers, someone else noticed me and said, "Hey, why don't you come on mine?" And then vice versa, it just kind of like starts to pick up from there. And you're meeting other people in the industry, you're learning from them. And then what's even like the best part about it, in my opinion, is that when you do sit down with these people and get to talking with them, you learn something from them that you might not know, and they might learn something from you. And it's like this, exchange of information that you weren't expecting, that can, again, it can help boost you to the next level or the next phase,
Yeah.
and it's also refreshing just to know that there are people in the same boat as you.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a big thing that I've been feeling a lot lately with myself and the people I've surrounded myself with that are doing podcasts and stuff. It's like, it's just refreshing to know that, all right, I'm working full time, I'm doing this podcast, and I'm trying to get guests all the time, and oh, I'm not alone. There's other people that are doing the exact same thing,
Exactly.
and are also in the same boat as me, like just grinding away and working. And it's refreshing. It is. It doesn't. You get. I don't know, and it gets me excited. I'm like, we could. I hope we all make it. I hope we all make it. But you never know. But um, yeah, it's just it's important to bring those, to have those people in your life that help you with those situations and stuff.
Definitely.
Big time.
Most definitely.
And then, so you start your music career, and we talked about this a little bit, how you're like recently you were talking about the other day off camera and off the podcast, on how like you kind of into making your own new sound, making something more unique. And I've always found that interesting, how artists, I think it's important that they evolve and they change, but how hard is it to go and develop your own unique sound, and let alone just music? It's obviously hard, but how do you go around and how do you start from there?
So what I learned, so I take like classes, and I'm just I can learn more, and I want to know music exactly, like I want to know music from the ground up and not just how to make it. I want to know like the anatomy and everything behind it. And the biggest thing that I've learned in the time of being tutored is that, bro, like if you're focused on making your own sound, you're never going to make your own sound. You just got to just work on music. And what will end up happening is, as you're working on music, that like those sounds that you find like, oh shit, this sounds dope, I'm putting this in every song. Like there'll be like these effects and all that stuff. It's super difficult to find it, but once you find it, I feel like that's your sound, right? That's how people make their own sound. They have like, oh, this person uses like this kick, this like sort of kick with like this dump in it, or what, like stuff like that. Or like, oh, they use this like background like counter melody type, like like lead or whatever, right? Something like that. Or oh, they use like, this sort of 808, stuff like that. But like to get to that point it takes years, man. Like I'm nowhere near there, but like to get like a very unique sound that people don't have never heard before, that's like an evolution for me. Like that, when I get to that point, that would be like an evolution. But where my sound is going now is definitely different than when I started. Like I'm going more of like I'm trying to be true to my roots of who I am. Like I used to listen to a lot of hip hop growing up. I used to listen to a lot of like dance hall, reggae, stuff like that. So I'm trying to, incorporate that vibe, but also like I'm from New York, so being a New Yorker, like, like I'm trying to like embrace that, I guess you could say.
What do you mean by embrace that? Like, what? Yeah, give
Like
me
I'm
an
trying
idea
to
here.
embrace, like I'm trying to turn my sound into for something that's like someone else into something that's my own. Like I want to incorporate like that hip hop, like swing, like like how hip hop is very
Okay.
prominent in New York, more so, like especially like growing up. I was that's all I was listening to was Hot 97. Like anybody that's from New York will know about the
All right.
radio station that I'm talking about. But anyway, so like I'm just trying to incorporate more hip hop be type of stuff into my music, and like reggae and dancehall and stuff like that. Stuff like I've listened to. Like I want to sample stuff from old reggae tunes that other people haven't sampled out, and just from stuff that like I was listening to when I was like 5, like that my parents listened to, or like my dad and like my family, they listen to like really old school, like, like I don't know. It's just basically like old school music. I don't know how to classify it. Like 80s. It's like 80s, 90s, and
I'd
like
throw
even
everything under
older.
80s, 80s or
Yeah.
70s. Yeah, I throw everything under that genre if it's older, just because it's so simple to say that. Because there is
Hmm.
so much that goes on in that time frame, and there was such a change in music during that time frame too. I mean, just
Exactly.
entirely different from what was. in the early 50s and early or 50s and early 60s. And then it just things just fucking took off, you know?
Bro, exactly. No, 100%. And so to go back to that, so I'm trying to develop a sound that is not something like very generic and basic. I want it to have my swing. I want it to be like, yo, you're listening to this and like this is Sloth. You're like, wow, this is Sloth. Like I've heard this and Sloth's tunes. Like I've heard stuff similar to this, and like build off of that. Cause I feel like once you can grab that concept, making music is a breeze because you have your sound. So now it's just, it's about pumping out music. It's about just going, breaking the boundaries, seeing what you can do, like taking this sound from this song, but processing it a different way, or using it in a different way than you did before. But yeah, we're like getting completely off topic of what I'm talking about. But
No. We're doing fine. And first off, if we go off topic, there ain't no problem with that either. So don't worry about it.
yeah, definitely. I go
But
on tangents. I'm sorry.
no, let's we're all good. We're all good. So when you want it to be, you brought up something a little bit earlier that was like, you when you're focusing so much on making your own sound, you'll never find it. So how does that work with just like being creative and just trying new things, and maybe something just clicks one day and you're like, oh, I like this? Or how do you like, how does that process go about? I mean, by just letting the creativity flow out from with you and not forcing it. Is that kind of how that works?
It's a little bit of that, but it's also like you got to be disciplined. So another thing that I've learned is that routine is better than inspiration. You want to work on routine and not inspiration, because if you're working on inspiration, you're going to not be inspired some days. You're going to be like, oh well, okay, then I'm not going to make music. That's not the way to do it. You just got to routine. Every day you try to do something, and like at least you did something and it becomes routine. And I feel like that's with everything in life. Like you have a good routine set, whatever you're trying to accomplish based on that routine, you're going to accomplish, as long as you have it, figured out in that point. But I feel like that's something that I'm trying to do. It's very difficult to literally sit down and be like, okay, I don't know what I'm gonna make, but I'm gonna just open Ableton and see what comes out.
Mm-hmm.
You're just gonna
Like
put.
you're making yourself, you're just saying like, hey, I'm going to sit down for 30 minutes today, and just
Yep.
30 minutes every day until,
Yeah,
and
like an
something
hour,
might
30
come out of
minutes,
it. You
whatever.
never know. Kind of what you're getting at here.
Yeah, exactly. And then I feel like that's how you develop your own sound. If you're just trying to develop your own sound, then you're not really experimenting. You're just like, okay, I'm gonna develop a sound that's different. You like, I don't know. I feel like it's better to just like let that shit come to you more
Mm-hmm.
so than not, like, than to just force it, because then it's actually your sound and not some, like, because when you're forcing it, you're essentially using other people's sounds and you're trying to feed off of that to make your own sound. In my opinion, this is all opinion based, obviously,
Right.
but I feel like when you're just letting it happen, you're seeing what comes out, what you can do, just experimenting, just making music, because at the end of the day, that's what music is you're reacting. It's
Yeah. Making
reactive
stuff, putting stuff out
production.
there, and then
Yeah.
feeling it out and going, oh, I like this beat. Wonder if it'll go good with this one. Oh, that tune right there, that chord struck my fancy. I'm gonna throw it in with the crescendo. I don't know. I'm just throwing out words here, but like something in the something in the sense like that is kind of what you're saying. Like you're, I really like that what you just said though about like creativity through routines. That's something that just like was like a light bulb in my head. Is like I've never thought of it in that way. Like that's why we do routines. That's why you got to get in a habit of whatever it might be, making music, doing a podcast, like or whatever. You just get in a routine, and eventually that creativity is going to come and flow from that routine. It's genius, in my opinion. It's genius and so simple, yet you've mentioned a couple times discipline. It comes back to that. Like people don't have the discipline to do that every day and do that routine every day. But it's just like with working out. I mean, when you go every day, you see the best results, right? You go every day, you're taking your protein shake, you're eating the food you need to eat, you're gonna start seeing results. It's just a matter of doing it all the time. And
Yeah, exactly.
but it's just never that. It's just funny because not everyone has that ability to do it. I mean, I don't know. It just like a light bulb went off in my head when you were like, yeah, it's routine wise, routine versus inspiration. That's what you basically said, and that it's genius onto like such a small level, but genius.
It's not my creation though. My buddy Scotty is the one that taught me that. But yeah, he's on a whole nother level. He's a music producer as well. I don't know if you ever heard of Two Owls or Night Owls. They used to be, but yeah, he used to be Two Owls. But anyway, yeah, he told me that, and that's so true. It's like if you think about it, it's you're not going to get good at something unless you force it into a routine. Like not trying to force it, but like if you want to get something done, like look at athletes. They go to the gym every single day,
Mhm.
shoot up their shots like basketball players. They do their drills. They do whatever they got to do, and that's how they become good. They don't just become good because they're like, all right, I'm gonna wake up and go score 50 points real quick. They don't. It doesn't like they don't go from wanting to do it to that without you know repetition. And if you think about that, and with music or like with the podcast, like I see you doing like what are you on, like episode 70? I think it was
You're gonna
70
be 75.
75. See,
Yeah.
like that's routine, bro. You're doing it up. So
Yeah.
it's
And
and
you know,
yeah.
go ahead.
Sorry.
I
Yeah.
was just
No,
to
go
say
ahead.
when you get into that routine, what's even crazier is when you don't do it, you feel like you just sort of like, oh, you get it. At least for me, I get like pissed. I'm like, damn it, I missed.
Yep.
Because there have been a few times where I had to take a week off from podcasting, and like I didn't have one. I try to get ahead. Let's put it at that. I try to get ahead, and I don't always get ahead. But there, and when I don't get ahead and I have to take a week off, I'm like really pissed because I'm like, damn it, like I need to get one out this week, and it sucks because you see that like that two steps back that you take when that occurs. It's like, oh, like just I don't know. At least for me, when I miss that routine on anything, I'm like, God, I'm losing it. but yeah, as long as those don't tumble down into a big snowball effect, you'll be fine, of course.
Definitely.
But it's hard, man. It's hard to get
It,
out there and do a routine. Do you
man, I'm not even saying this like, oh, I do this perfectly. Like I'm not perfect. We all have our, like I try to do it, and if you can't do it, sometimes you can't do it sometimes, but don't beat yourself up about it. But that's what you want, and that's how you become your perfect self is you stick to that routine and then you just continuously build on it. But we're human, so don't beat yourself up about it until there's a reason to beat yourself up about it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Because when you beat yourself up, it can go just as sideways. You can get things really messed up, and really, you can really get too on yourself, which isn't sometimes good, sometimes bad, depending on the person. But yeah, it's tough out there. Do you have anything that like you do to help you with your routine, or do you have any tips and tricks that maybe you do?
So to work on music, man, I just try to get inspired by either, I'm listening to something or I'm just watching something that's inspiring. I don't know, like sometimes I watch anime and it inspires me, but
You don't
it
have
just
like a
depends.
set day where like a set time where you're like, okay, I'm gonna try to start making music every day around 8.
That would be like the perfect, situation if I did that, but I work every day from 9 to 5. So, like after I get off work, I try to work on music. Some days I can't. Some days I'm like super dead from work. But like on the weekends, I try to put aside some time, as much time as I can, maybe like 4 or 5 hours,
Mm-hmm.
just knock out music. But like sometimes, like I'm not saying this on record, but sometimes when I'm like working and it's dead, I work on music.
Hey, you wouldn't be the first person, but also that's such a good use of your time, especially because you're working your 9 to 5, which I get because I do that too. And you're not like you're there, you're committed, you want to do a good job, but you also are also like you've got this in the back of your head the entire time you're there. Like I could be working on this, I could be working on this, and when the opportunity presents itself, you'd rather work on that. And I get that. What's funny is you you're bringing that up this week. My job decided that we're no longer going to be working from home, where they want us to come back.
Oh man.
And luckily, there was a lot of people were complaining that they didn't want to go back, so they just said, "Okay, how about you come back 3 days a week, work from home the other two?" And I was like, "Perfect, that's fine, I'll take it." But even going, but but like I go back to the office, and it's great. It's nice to be working, be able to talk to other people. I'll be honest, it's nice, and I'm getting work done. But then like, you know, 3:30 rolls around and I'm like, well, I'm done for the day. And not always, but some days. And I was like, think I'm gonna work on my page a little bit. And I started going through my videos and getting them some ready for YouTube and stuff like that. And it was nice, but not everyone does that. And that's something that is, I mean, in my opinion, again, I'm not going on record saying that, but like it's also really good to do. It's also really good and a great way to use your time. And I don't see what the issue is if you got all your work done and stuff like that. I really don't. But the company chose to have you there those hours, so they didn't have to have you there those hours. They chose to have you there those hours. So.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, as long as it's not affecting my work, right?
Yeah, I don't know what the issue. I don't know what the problem would be. I don't get. That's the whole thing about remote work that doesn't make any sense. Is like they like want everyone to go back to work. Not just my company. I should make that very clear. My company's been very awesome to us, but like other companies want their workers back. They're like, we just want you back. And what's the reason? Well, we just want you back. We don't have a reason. So I don't know. It's interesting.
Yeah, some jobs I feel like definitely could stay remote. They'd save money. I mean, they don't pay for the office space and the like lot space. I don't know. I don't know the like actual expenses that go into have an employee at the office, but I'm sure there's a lot compared to having them just work from home. But it is what it is, right?
It is what it is. You work what you can get. I agree with that. But at the same time, it's like we can want to have a discussion about it because like there are studies that like people are more productive, they're more happier, and like,
yep.
Why would you not want that in your employees? That's something I don't understand when it comes to, and not to get like political and everything. I don't, but like with capitalism and stuff, like there are things that like I'm like, you do realize like you kind of let the look at owners and be like, you realize like if your employees are happy, they're going to produce more, right? And they're like,
yeah,
we didn't think of that. It's like, how have you not thought about that for the last 40 years? Like, why is this just now occurring? Like, you're going to get better output if we're happy. However that's achieved. Dude. I don't know.
I have no idea, to be honest with you, why people don't want their workers working from home. Because I feel like one, you can have as many workers at that point, as many as you need. Like, right. Even if you have some of them come back into the office, like I understand why they would have people go into the office. Like some people need that supervision, and but I feel like there's some people that like they work better isolated. And
well, that's the thing too with it. Like again, it doesn't have to be political. It can be just business oriented. Like if someone's not producing in a free market, quote unquote, like they're just not going to be able to do that job. Like so, like if you're working from home and you're not hitting your quotas or hitting the things you need to hit, they're going to still see it. They can just fire you. Like I don't know what the just like like from a business standpoint, like what do you have to lose? I don't understand. It just doesn't make sense to me. Besides the fact that they want you there, like that's it. They just want you to be there. Why?
True.
Like, make sure you're there for 40 hours a week to make sure you're like what is it? Do they want you to work 40 hours a week?
They want to make sure that you're working, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, that's probably it. I think they're wasting more money because you're not always working. That could be the case. It's very valid. But in that case, maybe realize that 40-hour work week is a waste of time. I don't know. Because like I go back to the office and I see people hanging at each other's desks talking for 20 minutes. And I'm like, what? Like, that's all. Half you people come in and talk for 30 minutes a day. Like, I don't know. It's just funny. It's just funny to see. I don't know about, definitely. I don't know how your work is, but.
Well, my work's, I do tech support. So it's not as like, I'm just on the computer all day. Like just.
So you for sure can
tech. I wish, man, that'd be great. But regardless, company I work for, I love them. So it's a great job. Bank of America.
Shout out.
Shout out.
Shout out Bank of America.
No, actually don't shout out Bank.
Crash the real estate market again. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, I'm sorry.
No, you're good, bro. But yeah, enough of the political talk.
I didn't even think it was political. I apologize if it got that.
No. I mean, you were saying not to get political, so I'm saying
like let's stray away from it.
Yeah. But I don't think it's political at all. I think it's a good topic because it should be something that they actually should look into, look into and not, like they shouldn't just be like, okay, this is the way and that's the way only. Because like if this is the way. Like if your workers are happy, then as you said, they produce more. So
Yeah, I don't. It just some of this stuff baffles me. It's like logical in a business setting, which is their whole thing is like we're
yep,
just logical. And it's like,
business is a
are you?
whole entire rabbit hole itself
Yes, it
that
is.
normal people don't understand.
It is something. It is something to say how owners think versus employees think. It's
Hmm.
definitely different. I know my dad was an owner, and I've talked with him about stuff, and it's interesting to hear his point of views. Oh well, owners would want this and this, and it's like, okay, I guess I can see what you're saying, but I don't know. It's weird because you think as just a owner of anything, if you were in charge of people, you'd want them to be happy. Like I don't know, it's just like I don't know. It's weird. It's interesting.
No, definitely, definitely.
It's interesting. But anyways, let's move on. I do want to ask though, while we're on the topic of work, though, you do work full time. You work this on the side. You also we haven't even talked about it, but I believe you have a marketing type job with Insomniac, as we've
Yeah, I
discussed
help. I
previously.
yeah, like a I work with them. To like what I did when before COVID was I ran EDC Orlando street team, and just like other street teams for festivals that they do here, and all of that stuff was building up. I help out with Vanguard, uh, like I run a team for that, and just stuff like that, and just other shows here and there. But yeah, that was my main thing to like survive, because we all know that musicians aren't making a lot of money when they start out, any at all. But
Mhm.
you're spending more money than you make to go to your show you're playing.
Yeah, that can definitely happen. So, so what is it like with working with that street team and for Insomniac? I'm just kind of curious on how that is.
It's amazing, bro. I love working with Insomniac. They've taken care of me so much. Like I have nothing but good things to say about working with Insomniac, and it's such a like family mentality there
And
when
what
you're
is it?
working.
What is it that you're doing? Like how does the street team work? I'm not familiar with
Oh,
how they
okay.
operate and stuff like that. I'm just like,
So I handle all of the promoters. So like for EDC, I make like a whole schedule of every show coming up, all the stuff that they need to hit and we need to hit, like all the like festivals and all that stuff. And also distributing tickets and selling tickets, and just promoting the show, the street team, making sure that they do the outings. We did some tabling and stuff like that at UCF, and we did tabling for like special events, like we did Pride Parade. We did something at Wall Street. Like this was all in 2019 EDC,
of course.
and also selling tickets too.
And you
And
get
just any
any special access at the festival, stuff like that, for being part of that?
well, I've played EDC Orlando 2018, 19, and I'm playing this year. So
Yes,
for
you
the
are.
past few years, huh? Yeah, for the
Shout
past
that
few
out.
years. Yeah,
Let's plug that one in
Circuit
right there.
Grounds.
Circuit
Circuit Grounds,
grounds.
baby.
Hell
Let's get
yeah.
it.
Oh, that
Yeah.
stage was awesome last for 2019, I should say. So that's exciting, dude.
Thanks, man.
Ooh, I'm gonna get to see you live finally again. Let's go.
Let's go.
I'll
Yeah,
be
and I'm
there.
also playing a show um at the Tavern in Orlando, right up the road from Vanguard. Chime. I'm playing support for Chime.
Okay.
Um
Wow.
that's gonna be after the Millennium show at the fairgrounds on the 2nd of October, I believe. I
Ah,
don't remember exactly.
I
But yeah.
opted out of that Millennium show, and I won't be in town that weekend. I will be going to Red Rocks instead. But I
Damn, I mean,
wish you best of luck at your
that's a great
set.
place too. I love Red Rocks. I went there, saw Flume in 2018 or 2019. 2019, I saw Flume at Red Rocks.
Tell me about that show. Let's take a detour down that road real quick.
Oh, it was amazing, man. It was such a great show. It just Red Rocks in general is such a great venue. It's just
Mm-hmm.
out in nature. You see the mountains, bro. Like it's nothing like I've ever been to. Like that, and Nocturnal Wonderland in California is also a really good festival too, just because like you're in the mountains. Like there's a lot of like you can see mountains. Like it's not just you're in this flat terrain
Yeah.
with grass as far as you can see. Like you're seeing, that, and Tomorrow World is also really nice too. Just other festivals. I haven't been to Electric Forest though. That's a festival I'd love to attend.
I'm with you there. I haven't been. I bought tickets for it. Well, I bought tickets for it one night. Recently though, one of my buddies I'm in a group chat with I was getting rid of a ticket, and I was like, I'll take it. Didn't even hesitate. Just give me the money, sent it, transferred it over. So whenever it comes back, I have a ticket in my name. But
Nice.
we'll see if it
Those are
happens.
difficult to get, so good job.
So I've been told. Yeah, I guess I got lucky, and I've it was such on a whim. I was it was a very expensive night out at the bar when I woke up. But yeah, I went out and enjoying happy hour. Saw the text next morning. I looked at my bank account and I was like, I spent some money last night, and I was like on my Venmo like electric forest ticket, and I was like, I guess I'm going now. I'm excited.
As long as just make sure you have people to go with.
Yeah, I'm either gonna, yeah, hopefully I can go in with him and his group. I'm just in a group chat with him. I've actually even never met the kid, but seems nice. So we'll
Hey
hopefully.
man, that's how all the great friendships start.
Right. It's crazy how the people you meet in the EDM community. Not, I'm sure you meet a slew of people just from producing and be on the marketing side of things, but like I know me as just a fan and being out in the crowd. I've met some great friends and some friends. I've met friends out of it too, where I'm like wearing merch and they're like, "Oh, dude, love the Millennium, love his shirt, you know, or love Excision, love that, like the shirt." And then we just start talking, and yeah, I've some of my best friends are just made right from the community. It's crazy, but
Same man, same exactly. And I mean, don't forget, we all start off as fans, so I was in the same boat as you.
that,
You know, when I first started going to shows, I was, you know, seeing people. I was wearing the merch and this and that, and I was seeing people, and we were like, you know, that's how I made a lot of my friends in the scene. That's, you know, that's how I built as a promoter too, because you just talk to people. That's how you break out of your shell. You find something that you want to do, and you're like, okay, I'm not gonna be quiet about it. I'm just gonna go talk to this person. There's nothing besides, hey, what's up? We already have something in common. We're at the show. You like this music. What's good? And then you become cool with people that way. I feel like that's how
yeah,
it started for me.
yeah, it's yeah, and it's like you say, like we kind of said earlier, it's hard to come out of your shell and like get into that groove, but it's when you have passion about something that you're when you have passion about something, it's so much easier. Like
Oh
so
yeah,
much
for
easier.
sure.
Just start just going, like just go off. You know, like I know I would my non EDM friends, like I almost feel bad for them when they ask me a question. Like and they're like, you know, they're just being polite. Like, how was the festival? And I'm like, bro, let me tell you. And I just go off. And then at the end of it, I'm like, I'm so sorry. Like, and they're like, nah, I get it. Like, cool for you. Like, you'll definitely have to take me one day, but like, you know, I'm not super into any of that stuff. But yeah, it definitely brings on a fandom of its own. Some super fans for sure.
Definitely, definitely.
It's weird like being in, at least for me, like I feel like I'm so in the community by just being into music, having this podcast, talking to other people there, you know, have podcasts in the community and stuff. Like it's very weird for me to talk with people about non EDM stuff. Like I'm in that boat now where I'm like, like I need to start like making sure I'm up to date on other things than just EDM. But
Yeah, for sure.
yeah,
You'll get lost, man. It's a rabbit hole.
exactly, exactly, 100%. But I was gonna get at what's how do you manage all three jobs? Like, how do you manage working on your music on the side, working a 9 to 5, and then possibly working for Insomniac? Because everyone, you know, like myself included, like I've
I
got a
also go to
job
school
and
too.
you go to school, right? You got board things. That's right. Damn, I forgot about the school.
Dude,
Um,
honestly, I just don't sleep a lot, I guess. I wake up for work, work all day. Either, you know, like I'll pick a day where I'm working on music, or I'll pick a day like if I have to do homework. Homework obviously comes first. I get that should get that done. And then, you know, I just work on it until like I'm a night owl since I've, you know, been like since I grew up. Like I
mhm.
stayed up all night, as you said, playing video games until, but I stayed up until like 10, 11 a.m. the next day playing with people in like you know,
In
Europe and
Germany. So,
yeah.
yeah.
So trust, yeah, like that's how I was growing up. So getting into the nightlife scene, I was already out all the time. I was already up, so you know that was never a problem. And it's obviously not good. I'm not saying don't get sleep, but um, I watched this video a long time ago. You know who Tony Robbins is?
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, he's an entrepreneur,
That's what I thought.
and
Okay.
like he his saying is he sleeps for 4 hours a night, and he's good on 4 hours of sleep. And I don't sleep like I used to do that when I was like super busy and always doing stuff. Now I'm like not doing that as much because like quarantine, we're home, we had nothing else to do. We had nothing but time. So I spent a lot. You all right there, man?
That whiskey was a lot stronger than I thought it was going to be. It kind of
Damn.
surprised me. I'm so sorry. Go
No,
ahead.
you're good, man. Just making sure you're okay over there.
Over here, like the people on the video are gonna laugh their ass off because I take that sip and I'm like, oh, like that was
Hey,
burned.
man, just use it as a clip, man. Just clip it right now. Just be like, all right, we're using that. That's
I am so sorry to interrupt your train of thought. Go ahead.
no, dude, you're good, man. It's okay.
Tony
So sorry, I'm trying to catch it again.
Robinson, 4 hours
Yeah,
sleep.
Tony Robbins. So Tony Robbins, he says that he sleeps 4 hours of like he gets 4 hours of sleep a night, and then he goes. But like you got to be in the top, like the best shape of your life to be able to live that sort of lifestyle. And I am not in that shape, especially because of quarantine. Because like as I said, we stayed home, had nothing else to do, just ate food when play
Right.
video games, make music. I was streaming a lot, so when after I'd stream for like 4 or 5 hours, I'd eat some food late at night and stay up all night and just that's how I managed it. Honestly, just I don't really like I sleep now, but like realistically, not really, not as much as I should.
Yeah, I feel you on that. I've always been a night owl, to be honest. I work better at night. I don't go to bed. I don't go to bed easy. Don't go to bed easy. I have to always take like a melatonin or something to just knock me out and like just so I can go to sleep. Once I'm asleep, I'm asleep. But it's just the fact of going to bed. I've
Oh yeah,
always had
same.
that.
Once I'm asleep, you can't wake me up. It's over. It's game over.
Literally, yeah, and that's why like 9 to 5 and stuff is like so difficult. I feel like for me, and maybe you feel that same way because you're like,
Same.
oh, I gotta wake up early, and you're like, I just want to stay up and do my work. Like that's what I loved working from home. I hate to go back to that, but like I could do my work whenever. Like they just didn't question it as long as it got done. So yeah, I'm supposed to be on, like I'm on call. I'm supposed to be working from 9 to 5, and I was like, I'm just gonna get my work done tonight when I'm like actually in the zone.
True. Yeah. See, my job's not like that. We work from 9 to 5, 9 to 5:30. So and then
Yeah. Well,
sign off and
now when I'm back in the office, I have for sure have to be working 9 to 5:30. So now I'm back to drinking coffee. That's
oh
great.
yeah, I have two. Oh yeah, that as well. A lot of coffee, a lot of caffeine, lots of coffee. I drink 2 cups of coffee a day, which is probably not the greatest for you, but I
Luckily,
love
I'm not
coffee.
super into coffee. I've gotten very fortunate. I've just never been. And even now, I drink like I'll have like 1 cup throughout the whole day. Never, I won't just like chug it and get like this huge burst of energy. I'm like sipping on it throughout the day, and it kind of carries me through. But yeah, just doesn't taste well to me. I'm a big sweet tea person, but that's about it.
See, I used to be like that, just like not liking coffee because of the taste. I didn't like wine, didn't like beer. But
Ooh.
I guess as I got older, I just developed a taste for sour stuff, I guess. And beer is good. I like beer now.
What
Like
was
certain kinds of beer. I can't drink like very like dark beer. If like a
Guinness?
lager.
A Guinness?
I mean I can drink Guinness, but it's not something that I like
Probably on the lower end
seek.
of the darker beer spectrum.
Yeah, like I'm not really that that well versed.
What
I
was
drink like sours and ciders and this. What is this? This is a I don't know what
peanut
this
butter
is.
peanut
It's
butter
a
jelly beer?
well, yeah, but this is peanut butter and jelly beer. But I'm trying to say what kind of like actual beer it is. It says it's a
Um,
peanut butter and jelly Bigley, but I think Bigley's just because it's a big can. The size of this can in my head, bro. Like,
can is huge. Holy shit.
yeah,
But what was the first beer you would say you started to like? Because I was the same way actually. I hated beer in college and never drank it. I didn't drink beer till my last summer of college, and it wasn't because I was out partying. It was like me going to breweries, and I found some that just were great. And now,
yeah. I think that's when I started liking it too. When I stopped drinking crappy beer that I
Mhm.
buy at this like supermarket,
Yeah,
and I like actually go to like a brewery and get something like on the tap like that they make, and that's not like doesn't taste like apps like piss basically.
I love craft beer. Craft beer is
Yeah,
just,
craft beer is great, man. That's
I hate to say that, but I'm
something.
such a sucker for craft beer. It's bad too though because I have such an expensive taste. Like if we do a beer night with the guys, like I'm going and buying a craft. I'm just buying a case of craft beer. I'm not buying like Natty Light. I just won't do it. or
I
Bud Light.
mean, if you're gonna drink beer, man, just drink something that you enjoy. Don't drink it to like at a certain point. Like I get it, like when you're just trying to get like like you're just getting into college and
Yeah,
you're like, oh my god, I'm free. I can do whatever the hell I want.
trying to get fuzzy.
We all go through that state, but like as you progress past that, like
Start
don't
drinking
drink
shit you
shitty
like.
beer.
Yeah, start drinking shit you like.
Yeah,
You make money, start paying for things you like.
exactly. That's why you work.
That's why it's literally why you work.
There's a lot of other reasons why you work,
Yeah,
but
you
you
might
work
want to pay
to
your
have
bills.
yeah, you have
You
that
might want to pay off
privilege.
your student loans, your car.
Exactly.
There are some things that are required, but like other than that, go enjoy
You
it.
got the Friday night, you get some beer and get something you like.
I might go do that after this. You just might just brought out a good point. I might have to do that.
I mean, if you don't have much to do tomorrow, if you're off on the weekends, then
Nah,
I'm off on the weekend, so I get to chill out and relax. Like tomorrow, I'm gonna work on a lot of music. Probably tonight, honestly. Like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, I'll probably work on music, which is a terrible time to work on music when I've literally gotten like 4 hours of sleep last night. But yeah, it's how it is. It
let
is
those
how it
creative
is.
juices flow. You might get something crazy at 3 a.m.
I mean, honestly, I just feel like when I'm awake, I don't like to waste it, right? Like you said, when
Yeah.
you're in your zone, you're in your zone. Like sleep is sleep. Like I'll get sleep, especially on the weekends. Like I don't got this is the first weekend in a long, well, again, like I think a month that I'm not doing anything this weekend. I'm chilling at home and that's it. I'm gonna probably go to a brewery, get some sours from this sour brewery Culture Collective. Fire. But
Shout
anyway,
out
so
Culture
yeah, like this is
Collective.
the first time where I'm just gonna just chill and not have to do anything. It's great.
It's nice. It is nice. I mean, yeah. It's sometimes it's funny too because like sometimes people go and do like everyone's got vacations differently too. But like some people go to vacation, that's all they want to do. They just want to sit and relax like the entire vacation. Everyone's different, and also I think it depends on where you go too. But
Yeah,
yeah, like there's certain places where like we gotta go do shit. Like
definitely. It depends. Like
do shit.
one of the things that I do when I go visit places, food, like the best food that I can find that's in a reasonable price, or
Mhm.
like if I'm really feeling like okay, I really want to get some like really nice food, like then I'll go, splurge. But I'll mainly go to like something that the locals call the best place for whatever I'm feeling to eat at that time. You can always get some really nice burgers different places. Like I was just in Milwaukee. I think was it Milwaukee? I think it was Milwaukee. It was I think it was Minnesota, Minneapolis. I don't remember. One of those. And we went to this place that had like craft beer and also like really good burgers, but it was like a fast food kind of joint, but it wasn't and like they had I forgot what kind of beer. I had like a chocolate peanut butter beer.
Ooh,
Fire,
interesting.
bro.
Interesting taste.
So good. But yeah, that's one of the things that I do when I go places that I try food. I'm a
I'm
foodie.
I'm with you there on the food. I love not necessarily like travel to like I don't necessarily go to the local spots, I would say, but I do like when I'm on vacation, I want to eat. I want to eat good. Like I'm not gonna go. Yeah, I might get Chick-fil-A one or two days if we're like on a car ride, but like other than that, like I want to go to a sit down. I want to get like a nice steak. Like I want to just experience something there. Yeah, I want some good food. I don't know how to.
Definitely. Like you're traveling all this way to eat freaking McDonald's. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, no, I'm spending money. That is one thing I do when I'm traveling. I don't look at my bank account. I save up enough money to where I know I'll be good, and I'm like, don't look for the 5 days you're gone. Just gonna enjoy it. Oh, we're gonna go get steaks. I'm in. We're gonna go to the casino. I'm in. We're gonna whatever it might be.
Maybe the
But
casino's not a great idea because that entire bank account will be drained before you know it.
you gotta. Oh, that's probably the only thing you have to limit yourself on. Where you go, okay, I'm only taking out X amount of money. But other than that, like, that's a horrible example. But I just went to Vegas. That's why that's in my head still. But like,
True.
no, usually it's like, all right, we're gonna go eat out, and I have no problem where we go eat out. We're just gonna go wherever. We're gonna go to a nice restaurant one day. Fantastic. Like there's no problems.
I've never been to a casino and gambled. I've been to casinos. I've just never gambled at a casino.
Interesting. Why not?
Yeah. I don't know. I never really saw the point because it's like we all know it's like I think I think about it in an analytical way. It's like it's literally programmed to not let you win.
Well, slots for sure are a scam. I don't get
Yes.
slots. And I have actually, we had a friend who his brother worked for the Hard Rock Cafe, which is the casinos in Florida. They
Hmm.
got one in Tampa and I think in Miami. But like,
Yeah, they also have one in Universal City Walk.
yeah, but that one's not a casino.
Oh,
That
well,
one's just a
it's not a casino, but
restaurant.
it's a
Yeah.
Hard Rock.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it is there, but that one's not a casino.
Saw
Um,
Rufus du Sol there.
no, that's crazy. But
Yeah.
like the slots are for sure rigged. And he told us that he would go, he was in the computer rooms where they know when one's gonna win, how many polls, they can just move it to another one. Like it's slots. I would never do slots. It's just because your odds are just so against you. But I do enjoy some of the card games. I'm a big blackjack person. I can enjoy a game of blackjack.
I
I
have
can
nothing
buy,
against it at all. I just don't. I'm not good at it, so I'm like, why
yeah.
would I bet my money on it if I suck?
Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair
Might as
enough.
well just go burn money and just
I
light
had
it
a
on fire.
I had a while with or I had a friend who for a while we would just harp on all the time about how much he gambled and because he would always tell us, you know, oh, I walked away with this much. We never really hear about his losses. And then like one time I was like, honestly, be real with me. Do you think you're up on the year? Or do you think you're negative? He was like, honestly, I probably broke even how much I go, but I'm just not like for every 1,000 he wins, he ends up losing the next time when he brings 100 in. He never in the next 10 times. So it's like, yeah, you hit big, but then you lose the majority. Like it's just, yeah, you just got to go with that mind of just like the mindset of like, all right, I'm going to take out this amount of money. I'm going to have fun with this amount of money. I've delegated it for this, and that's all I'm going to do with it. And that's kind of how you got to go in with it. So
Yeah, definitely. I agree. I don't disagree with you at all. I don't think I'd go into a casino and like, oh, I'm about to win a bunch of money. Like I'd go into
yeah,
there with that mindset, but like I'm not gonna like hype myself up because then you're gonna walk out of there disappointed because, like you said, you'll win. You can win 10 grand, but then you just lost like 20. Like because one thing is like you could win a lot of money, and you're like, all right, maybe I can win more money, and then that's where it all goes downhill.
that's where they get you, dude. That's
Yeah.
exactly the second you're up. I don't know what the figure is, but there should be like a rule of thumb. Like when you're up X amount of money, like you just walk out because like half the time, like I've
But they
had it
don't let
night.
you walk out though. Don't they like bring you drinks and this and that? They're like, yeah, just stay, play
Well, you
more.
have to have right. You have to have the will to get up and go. Like you
Yeah,
just like,
exactly.
and I've had times where I've walked up and I've made a quick 200 and I'm out. Like, and then there's other times I had one time really bad. I was just not in the right headspace to even go gamble, and I had some other issues going on. And I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna go and get out of the house. And I did not need to go. I was up like 300, and I just blew it all. Ended up walking out with nothing, and it happened. I mean, I just remember that night. I remember being like, "Yeah, I probably shouldn't have." Like looking back, I'm like, "That was a bad night. Like I just shouldn't have even gone." But I've had other nights where I don't go much, but like in Vegas, when I went in Vegas, I was like, "I'm here. I gotta play a little
Oh,
bit.
Vegas, yeah.
Gotta
I
play
went
just
to
a little."
EDC Vegas last time it happened,
Night
and we
19.
didn't go to the casinos, but we stayed at a casino. Basically, we stayed at the Golden Nugget. So
That's crazy. I stayed at the Golden Nugget in 2019.
word,
Not even
yeah,
kidding. And it's same thing. I didn't do any of the casinos when I was there for that because it's Vegas. You're literally partying for 12 straight hours. So it's like I have no energy to go down there. But
exactly. You're so busy. You're like, all right, well, never mind.
literally, it's its own
Next
breed.
time.
There's so much. It's so long. Like it is so long. It
It
really is.
is.
It the people that can legitimately do sunset to sunrise. I did it one of the days and I didn't do it the other two. But the people
We
that
did
can do
it
it,
every single day.
dude, you're an animal. All right. By yourself out.
I was working. I was helping working with my old boss. We were just helping out with passing out these guides. And we got to go to EC Vegas for free. Got a hotel room just to help out pass out some guides. Um,
Damn.
and like he took care of us and all that stuff. So I can't complain. But yeah, we got there each night, except for the last night. We got there each night like around like 6 or 7, and we left at like 8 or 9.
That's Yeah, we couldn't do that. We did that for opening ceremony, and that was cool to see. And then then it's also cool because not everybody goes, so like you can walk around, like see a lot of stuff before it gets crazy, and then stayed till sunrise, and then we were just dead the next day, just dead. Yeah,
Well, I mean, we had no choice because
you're working.
once you get stuck in the traffic to leave, bro, you're gonna sit in that traffic for like 2 hours anyway. So, but the thing is, on the last day, we're like, all right, let's wait. We waited till like 9 or 10 a.m. to leave, and we still sat in traffic for like 2 hours trying to leave.
Yeah, it's almost like it's better to just go.
Yeah.
For Vegas. I do agree with
Mhm.
a lot of other fests. Like it's okay to like, all right, let's just hang out. We'll just stick around and hang, and we'll hope for the best. But that's yeah, EDC is just too
And it
much,
was so cold in 2019,
dude. It was freezing,
freezing. We had to go to like
so cold.
we went to Target. We didn't pack anything for the cold because
No.
everyone told me that EDC Vegas is going to be the hottest friggin' festival you ever go to. It's going to be 90 plus degrees every single day. At night, you're going to die too. And it's going to be at the highest 80 degrees. And I'm like, okay, why the hell am I going to pack anything remotely close to winter gear? Then
Mhm.
pack anything besides a pair of joggers and I think a shirt.
Same, same, dude. That year in normally they're right because it used to be in June, and I went. Like I said, I was just in Vegas at the beginning, end of June, early July. Bro, it was 106 degrees at 9 p.m. at night. So like
Holy
they
shit.
were right that like it does not get cold, but then they moved that shit to May, and it was freezing, bro. I don't know what the hell's gonna happen in October, but people better pack for the cold. It just has
Dude,
to be.
we went to Target and they didn't have any winter gear.
People,
Everything was so it wasn't even that it was sold out. It was that during that time of the year, they just don't have that stuff, in their
oh, you
store.
couldn't even buy like long sleeves or anything. That's wild.
Nothing worth buying. I bought this like extra, extra large like sweater. I mean, not sweater, hoodie, like a wool hoodie, because that's the only thing that they had, bro. I was like, whatever, I'll take it. It's super comfortable, but that's the only thing I had to like deal with that cold. It was so cold. And I'm from New York, bro. Like I dealt with the winter my entire life, and that just reminded me of that. I was like, God damn, this is
Just windy cold. Yeah.
yeah. It was windy the entire time too. It wasn't like, oh, it's windy now for a little bit, or then we're just gonna have some like still air. No, it was like the entire freaking
Mhm.
time, bro.
Dude, the
It was
funniest
great
thing
though.
I've
I
said
I
this.
loved EDC Vegas. It was amazing.
It
I
was
can't wait to play that festival. It's one of my biggest goals right there.
yeah, that's a great goal to have. I hope to see you there one day. I will definitely, hopefully, I can be in attendance. But yeah, I'd love to see you on that lineup for sure, dude. Real quick, and we'll move on. I remember it being so cold that I saw people in like their hotel robes. Like they were just like same thing. They didn't have any clothes. They just were like, "Fuck it, we're bringing the hotel robes. Like we're just doing it. We're just sending it."
Yeah, we just had like layers on. Like we were just like whatever we can wear. It's just like I had like two pairs of socks on, and like I would just like have like a shirt, a t-shirt, a shirt, my hoodie, and then just like whatever else that I could pause like a scarf. We bought a scarf. It was just we had no choice because it was cold. Even with all those people there, it was still freezing cold.
Yeah, there was no way of escaping it. I don't know how to explain,
Yeah,
but yeah.
definitely.
Last question here, man. How are you living yourself for every day? And broad as can be, but let's see what you got.
How do I live? Wait, can you repeat the question? I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
live yourself for every day. The How are you living yourself for every day?
How am I living myself for every day? I mean, I wake up every day. Like I said, I work and I just try to, I'm just trying to stay busy and trying to get better, even if it's just that tiny percent better. I'm just trying to be a better person to myself and, everyone around me and just being a better person every single day, trying to do something to improve myself, learn something, even if it's something super minute. As long as I feel like I'm working my brain at all, like a little bit, just to, keep my, I don't know, keep my brain juices going, I guess you could say, just so it's like I'm not just stagnant or I'm not just like content. Like I'm content, like I'm grateful, but I'm not content. Like I'm so hungry. And that's how I guess I stay hungry is because I just try to keep doing things and I'm very curious. So if I see something that piques my curiosity, that's what I do. And I just try to, like, as I said, try to stay into routine. As difficult as it is, routines are very difficult. Like my, so like my perfect routine would be I'd wake up either early to be able to work out, or I would wake up and, like, work, then go work out after work and play basketball, whatever, do whatever I'm doing, cook dinner and have enough time to work on music and, spend time with my girlfriend and have time to just hang out and just do me. But we all know that that's not possible to be able to do all that stuff unless you're like a superhuman, which I am not. I'm very far from a superhuman. Um, so, I mean, yeah, that's just living true to myself and staying true to myself, and that's how I live. I mean, I guess to answer your question, I don't know. I don't know if that was a good answer.
It's a great answer. There's no right or wrong answer. It's
True,
just
true.
the theme of the podcast is that, and that's something I want to start incorporating. And I've been asking everyone that comes on recently just that. It's just something to see what people say and how they want to do that. And there is no right or wrong answer, but I do like your answer. However, I think it's a great thing to say that, I'm just out here doing the best I can and trying to be the best me I can be every day. And I'm constantly trying to learn new things. I think that's, it's so important. It's so important for people to continuously learn and not get stagnant. I think so, at least, because when you get stagnant, you get in a rut, you get stuck in your own ways, you become stubborn and stuff like that. All things that people despise in other people, you start to become when you just settle, I guess, in a sense. But
Exactly. I couldn't agree with you more. And then, like, on top of that, I try to not put myself in other people's shoes in a sense, like, oh, this person's doing this, why am I not doing this? Like, I feel like that's the biggest, especially in music, that's like the biggest thing that will put you in a crutch, is when you try to compare yourself to others. Like, we're all here to do, do the thing. So just do your thing, and, like, stop comparing yourself to someone else, and stop trying to say, oh, why can't I be as good as this person? Why can't I get this show? Why can't I release on this label? Like, if you just work and do your thing, put your head down, you know, try to do everything. Like, you got, like, a lot of people think that, make being a music producer is simple, but, like, it's not just music. It's music. It's marketing. It's, staying, like, building a brand. It's, like, interacting with your fan base, trying to come up with new ideas, trying to figure out things. Cause, like, if you think that you're gonna just get famous on music alone, like, I'm gonna release music and I'm gonna be famous, you're like, you gotta go back to the drawing board, in my opinion, personally.
yeah,
So
I
you
mean,
gotta be a jack of all trades.
it's literally like you're, in a sense, I mean, it's like you're running your own business, but
Yep.
it's for the art itself. It's, yeah, you got all your stuff you got to do, build a brand, marketing, like you just said. It's crazy to think about that because people don't think about the stuff that goes into it like that. They don't, and it's, that's part of like what this podcast is. It kind of brings some light to that. Like there's so much more involved than just you making music, although that's a big part of it, and the part that people see. There's so much more that goes on in the background. Like you said, working with Insomniac, working as a producer, like there's probably artists right now that might listen to this and they didn't think about doing that, but now they go, that might not be a bad idea. And
There's also people that would be like, that's not a good idea,
I
but
mean,
then,
hey, in
everyone has an opinion.
exactly. Mm-hmm.
Everyone has an opinion. It's just
Yeah,
how it is.
that is exactly how it is.
And that's another piece of advice to give anyone is, people's opinions are their opinions. Like, yes, you can entertain someone's opinion, but don't let that base what you're doing based on what someone's doing. Like, don't let someone try to dictate the way that do your thing. Like, do your thing based on how you want it. Like, if you make a decision, let that be your decision, not someone else's. Because at the end of the day, you're working on your, goals, not that person's goals.
Right, right, and do things for you because at the end of the day, like you say, people's opinions come into play, and you're never going to make everyone happy. So you just got to kind of do you and what makes you happy in a sense.
Definitely, bro. Definitely.
Yeah, I agree. That's something that's hard to learn, but when it comes, you really can stay true to that, and it helps progress things a lot, I think. So,
So how do you live you each and every day?
whoa, twisting that around on me here.
Yeah,
Wasn't
man.
ready for that. Damn, how am I living myself every day? I try to take things.
Throwing a curveball.
You did throw me a curveball because I wasn't ready for that. But I in the same sense, I'm I'm trying to progress my life every day, little by little, doing something, to better myself for the future. There's a quote that I have written on my whiteboard here and the one at work that say, "Do something today that's going to benefit yourself in the future." And I think that's something I'm trying to do now more than ever, especially in the last month. I've really kind of taken that into my daily thoughts, and I throwing me a curveball here. I'm trying to think exactly how I do, but um, I've been really trying to get into better routines that will help me reach the goals I want to get to. And I also think it's super important to be the nicest person you can be, and to continue that, be that nice person in the world. Go up to someone who's working a difficult job. You get a sweet tea. I go to get a sweet tea at Chick-fil-A. Make sure you tell the person, "Hey, you did a good job. I appreciate your help. Appreciate you doing something." They might be having a horrible
Just
day on the job. You
even
never
ask them
know.
how their day's going.
Correct. Yeah. Just that's big for me, is doing things, and doing things in a nice way is something I've always believed in. And um, that's when I see people do that, it brings me joy. And that's what I want to do for people if I can, is just be the best version of myself in a nice way. And, like that, I guess, and work
Yeah, I
hard.
also I also try to like this is just something I do is when if I see someone like if I go to Publix and I get a sub, if I see like when they're making the sub for me, I try to look at their name tag and you know talk to them by their name because I feel like especially if someone's having a rough day, man, like
Mm-hmm.
just you saying like, "Hey, how's it going? How's your day going?" Like tell them like, "Thank you," this and that, whatever their name is, and like just addressing them by their name. I feel like that will like that does a lot for people, and they don't even know it. It's just like psychologically, it just like someone feels like their day is a little warmer than it was before. Like they felt like they were having such a cold day.
Mm-hmm. And
This random person just asked you how your day was, and
and bringing a smile,
yep,
and even that is very simple. If you're too shy to say something, you could just make sure you're extra nice and give it a big smile. I know sometimes I get shy about being like, "Hey, thank you very much, you're doing a really good job." So I just am just as polite as can be. And I think that's so important. I think that's what the world needs more of. At least it could be highlighted more. I think there's a lot of people that do that, but it seems that with today's day and age, a lot of the more bad stuff gets highlighted on social media and in the news. So just
it's what
important to
sells,
live.
man. It's what people want to see when they are viewing stuff. I mean, I don't understand it, but I mean, I understand why it is how it is, but I don't understand why it's the thing. Like everyone likes like dramas like the most. Like look at World Star, man. Like that's
Yeah,
where
it's all
everyone.
fights.
Yeah, that's exactly. But look at how successful they are,
Right.
because
Yeah.
that's what everyone wants to see. You got to give the people what they want if you want to be successful. Apparently.
Yeah. I mean, it's when you feed that though, it's not surprising if you're not the best version of yourself, or you're not happy with stuff.
I
It doesn't
agree.
surprise me. What you feed yourself is what in turn will be outputted. I think that's a big thing that people should take into account, and start realizing. If you're looking at sad things on Twitter, more than likely you're going to be sad when you get off Twitter, right? I mean,
Definitely.
and not saying, not calling out Twitter, but that's just the example. But
Yeah, just in general,
yeah.
like you like what we spoke about this when we spoke off the podcast, and you were asking me about like music and stuff, and I told you it's like who's my favorite artist, and I'm like, bro, it just depends like on my mood and how I feel, and that's what drives what type of music I listen to. Like if I'm in a mood, like depending on what that mood is, like I'll listen to whatever attracts that mood or will like help me cope through whatever I'm going through at that time. But like that's why music's so important to me is because it doesn't matter what mood I'm in. There's something I can listen to that will either get me through it. Like if I'm depressed and I listen to certain kinds of music, like when I'm depressed, I'll listen to stuff that's like uplifting and then that will, cheer me up.
Yeah.
And I'm not someone who likes to sulk because like growing up you sulk a lot when stuff doesn't go your way, but like as you grow older you're just like there's no point of sulking, just it happened, just get over it and just you know
Yeah.
How can you not avoid that happening again?
Do the best
Music,
moving
just
forward.
listen
Yeah.
to yeah,
Yeah.
listen to some
Music's so
music.
interesting how that does, how it's so connected to our mood, and not just our mood, but like our memories. Like there's sometimes you hear a song and you're like, oh my God, I remember this when we were at the football game in high school and we took it. Like, it's like some random shit like that. It's crazy. And that's why I love having, sorry about that.
Whoa.
I love having, but it's, music is so intertwined with our lives on a day-to-day basis, and it's so interesting to me in that sense. And that's why I love having producers on, because I think what y'all do is so fascinating. And like I said, there's so much more to producers than we make music. Like, I didn't know you worked at the bank and you worked for Insomniac and you went to school. Like, how did I know those things without talking to you? No one does.
Exactly.
But like, there's so much more to a person than just what they present out there and what they say they are in their profession. And that's what this podcast is totally about. And I'm happy I had the chance of talking to you and having you come on. It was awesome to get to know you more and what you're about and the things you enjoy. But yeah, that's why I love having producers on, man. It's so important and rich, and I love it. So,
Man, I really appreciate you bringing me on. I just as I said, I've never done a podcast before. The fact that you reached out to me and wanted to do a podcast, I'm always down to, just talk to people and just chop it up. And like I said, I love conversating, especially with like-minded individuals, because one, we're, getting to know each other, and two, like we can feed off of each other, and like you're giving me ideas that I didn't have before, and I'm sure stuff that I'm saying to you is reflecting in a way that you're like gonna be like, oh, okay, this makes sense. Oh wow, like as you said before, like some of the stuff that I said, it's kind of like, like a light bulb in the head, just like
yeah, I wrote it down. I have it written down right here in my little notes. That was the creativity through routine. I was like, that is genius. That is genius. I don't know. It just hit me. I was like, where has that been my whole life? So,
same man.
yeah.
I just recently got that myself.
Yeah, but it's crazy. I mean, and that's how I've been literally within the last 2 weeks, is just trying to get better at and get a routine of doing what I want to do, something every day, because obviously I want this to grow. So it's like, all right, I just need to start doing it every day, because but when I don't, it's not gonna grow. Like, and like you just said, sulking isn't gonna help it either. So it's like, just get to work. It's gonna work out.
Exactly. You just got to do it. It'll happen if you just continuously do it. As long as you put in the work, you get what you put in. It's as everyone says, like everyone's like, what does that mean? It means that if you put in 10%, you'll get 10% back, or you'll get 5% back. You got to put in to get something from what you're doing. Like if
Mhm.
you like just saying you're doing something and not actually putting in the work for it, yeah, you'll get something out of it, but you're not going to get fulfillment out of it. I feel like at the end of it, like to be fulfilled for something, you gotta actually feel like you did it. In my opinion.
No, 100%, 100%. And like we said, that yeah, the universe kind of rewards that as you go with it. Things start popping up and things start happening. I've noticed it in I had some issues where I had to stop doing stuff too. You mentioned previously during COVID, I had same kind of situation where I had to stop doing some stuff for a month or so, and that of course sucks and hurts. But like before that, I noticed like I was putting in a lot of work, and I noticed some of the things that just started popping up my way. Oh, so and so wants to have you on their podcast, and oh, I reached out to somebody with, just like 20,000 followers, and they were like, "I'll come on," and I'm like, "What? Like, I'm a nobody." Like, you know what I mean? Like, just like stuff that was just shocking to me, and it, yeah,
Just gotta shoot your shot.
well, that's also part of it. That's a huge part of it. I mean, people don't do that, but let alone, I mean, I think when you just put your head down and just work hard at it, and you really like it and you're working hard at it, I do think the universe kind of rewards that. I think it does. It's giving you what you're putting out into it in a sense. But
I agree, 100%.
yeah, man. Well, I think we should end on that. That's a good note. We went on a good 20-minute run there of just chock full of wise information. So maybe we'll have to clip that one out, right?
Yeah, definitely. It was a good time, man. Thank you for having me.
Dude, I enjoyed having you on. We did about an hour 30, man. It was awesome.
It didn't even feel like it, man. It felt like
No,
we were
not
just
at all.
talking,
Just for shooting the shit, man. I
having a
mean,
good conversation.
we barely hit all the topics that we had written down in case we needed them, which is perfect. It's always how we want it to go. So
Perfect.
I loved having you on. I can't wait to hear, although we didn't talk about it as much, I cannot wait to hear some of the new stuff you're going to be coming out with your new sound and stuff like that you've been testing.
I'll definitely
Um,
send you some of it.
Dude, absolutely. I'd love to have you on once again in the near future. So it'd be awesome to do that.
Are you going to be at EDC
Orlando?
Orlando?
Um, I am planning on going. Yes, I haven't bought my ticket, but I have tons of friends from back home and stuff going. So I'm gonna definitely try to make it down there. No doubt about
For
it.
sure, definitely, man. Let's definitely link up and
Oh, and
we'll
if
we'll,
you're at
we'll
Circuit
chop it up
Grounds, I
again.
have to come. I have to come
Yeah,
see it at Circuit Grounds, dude. That's right. You said that. Yeah, I'll make it down. No doubt. It's in Florida. It's not far from where I've moved. I'll make it down. That's for sure.
definitely,
But
man. Hell yeah.
hey, have a great night. Have a great weekend, and thank you once again for coming on.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna just plug myself real quick though.
Oh
For
yeah,
anyone
yeah.
listening, if
All
you know want to
right.
follow the music journey, it's at Sloth Music, Muzik. But that's literally everything. And Twitter, it's just with an underscore, but it's at Sloth Music, Muzik on all platforms. And yeah, get ready for some awesome music. I have a lot of stuff that I'm working on. We're booking up some shows here. Just things are happening. It's just I've been pretty quiet about it because I'm just trying to work and you know
Working
I'm
inside.
trying to just try, yeah, work in silence and then have a product to show instead of just hyping up something until it's time to go, you know?
I'm with it, and we'll definitely have to have you on again to talk about more of these upcoming things and these projects. But
For sure, for sure.
bye, everybody. Peace.
Peace.